the boy who appeared on every school CCTV. You are watching Blue Wolf, a horror story channel, so don't forget to like and subscribe. At exactly 2:13 a.m., my school security cameras captured a student walking through the hallways. The problem was the student had died 6 months earlier, and at 2:14 a.m., every camera recorded him stopping, looking directly into the lens, and pointing towards my classroom. My name is Ethan Parker. I was 17 years old when this happened. Even now, years later, I still avoid school building after dark. I attended a boarding school located deep in the mountains. The place was not old enough to be haunted. It had modern classrooms, security cameras, electronic locks, and brick hallways. Nothing creepy about it, at least during the day. At night, the school felt completely different. Long, empty corridors, dormitories filled with sleeping students, classrooms sitting in the dark, and hundreds of cameras watching everything. On one rainy Monday morning, rumors spread across campus. Students gathered in group whispering. Teachers looked nervous. Something had happened during the night. By lunch, everyone knew. The security guard had found strange footage. According to them, a student named Daniel Ross appeared on the cameras. Daniel had died in a bus accident 6 months earlier. Nobody believed the story. I sounded ridiculous, a park, an editor trick, a ghost story. Then the principal called an emergency assembly. The moment I say his face. The moment I see his face, I know something was wrong. He looked terrified. Do not concern. Terrified, he stood at the stage and cleared his throat. Nobody is allowed to leave the dormitories after midnight. The hall exploded with questions. Why? What happened? Is someone on campus? The principal ignored every question. Instead, he said something strange. If you hear somebody calling your name after midnight, do not answer. Silence filled the hall. Nobody laughed, nobody spoke. Something in the voice felt genuine. That night, none of us slept. My roommate Jake kept staring towards the window. You think the footage is real? He asked. The shrugged. Probably not. But I don't sound convincing. Around midnight, the rain stopped. The campus became unusual, quiet, too quiet. At 12:47 a.m., Jake suddenly sat upright. You hear that? I listened. At first, nothing. Then footsteps walking outside our dorm room. Slow footsteps, step, step, step. The hallway should have been empty. Everyone was inside their room. The footsteps stopped directly outside our door. Jake whispered, "Who's there?" No answer. Then come three knocks. Knock, knock, knock. Neither of us moved. The door handle slowly turned. My heart nearly stopped. Fortunately, the door was locked. For several sounds, the handle continued moving. Then everything became silent. Eventually, we convinced ourselves It was another student, maybe a prank, maybe a teacher. Then we heard a voice, a teenage boy speaking softly. Jake. My roommate froze. His face turned pale. The voice spoke again. Jake opened the door. The blood drained from his face. That's impossible, he whispered. What? Jake stared at me. That's Daniel's voice. Neither of us slept after that. The next morning, another rumors spread. A security guard had quit immediately, no explanation, just packed his thing that left. That afternoon, Jake and sneaked into the administration building. We wanted answer. The security office was empty, but one computer remained unlocked. Inside, we found the footage, and I instantly wished we had not. The time stamp read 2:13 a.m. The camera showed an empty hallway. Then Denial appeared, not walking into frame, appearing. 1 second the corridor was empty. The next second he was standing there, motionless. His school uniform was torn. His face looked pale, his eyes completely blank. He began walking. Every camera captured him. Floor 1, floor 2, floor 3, always moving toward the same location. Classroom 214. My classroom, then come the part that made my skin crawl. Daniel stopped directly beneath a camera, slowly lifted his head and smiled, a horrible smile. Then he pointed straight towards the lens, toward whoever was watching, toward us. The recording ended. Jake immediately closed the window, closed the video. Neither of us spoke. We left the office and returned to class. But something felt wrong, like somebody had noticed us watching. That evening, another student disappeared. A boy named Michael. His bed was empty during morning attendance. Teachers searched everywhere. No sign of him, no explanation. Then security footage from that night was revived. At 2:13 a.m., Michael has left his room, walked into the hallway, and followed someone. Someone just outside camera range. The footage never showed who is was following, but witnesses claim they heard Michael speaking before he vanished. He kept saying the same sentence. Wait, Daniel. Panic spread through campus. Parents demanded answers. Police arrived. Search teams combed the surrounding forest. Nothing. Michael simply vanished. The principal then revealed something he should have told everyone months earlier. Daniel was not the first student to disappear. There had been others. 3 students over 10 years, all vanished after claiming they heard voices calling them at night. Every disappearance happened on the same date, October 17th, and unfortunately, October 17th was only 2 days away. Nobody wanted to stay, but a storm blocked every road leading off the mountain. We were trapped. That night, every room received new instructions. Keep doors locked. Do not leave after midnight. Ignore any voices calling your name. Most students laughed nervously. I did not. Neither did Jake. At 2:11 a.m., I was awake, watching the clock, listening. The hallway remained silent. 2:13, nothing. 2:14, the light suddenly went out. The entire dormitory plugged into the darkness. Then every emergency speaker in the building activated at once. Static filled the room, followed by a voice, a teenage voice. Can somebody help me? Jake grappled my arm. The voice continued. I am lost. Static clacked. Then a speaker whispered, Ethan. My blood turned cold. It knew my name. Ethan, please. The voice sounded scared, alone, human. That's what made it terrifying. Part of me wanted to answer, part of me wanted to help. Then another sound echoed from the hallway. Footsteps, dozens, walking outside. Slowly, the emergency lights flickered on. Red light flooded the room. I looked beneath the door and see shadows moving past. Lots of shadows, for too many, as if hundreds of students were walking through the hallway. But the school recorded showed everyone was inside their room. Then something knocked, not on our door, on every door at the same time. The entire building echoed with hundreds of synchronized knocks. Boom, boom, boom. Students began screaming. Teachers shouted through the hall. Then all sounds stopped. Complete silence. The next morning, three students were missing. Not one, three. Not clues, no clues, no evidence, nothing. Except a single sentence written on a classroom wall. The words were painted in black, almost like dread mode. He is looking for the last one. Nobody knows what it means until the final night, October 17th, the night everything ended, or almost ended. At exactly 2:13 a.m., every security camera activated. Every screen across campus displayed at the same image. Daniel standing in classroom 214. My classroom waiting. The principal, teachers, police officers, everyone rushed there. I was among them. The classroom door stood open. Inside was complete dark. Police entered first. Flashlights swept across the room. Nothing. Empty. Then a voice come from behind us. Found him. Everyone turned. Daniel stood at the end of the hall, smiling. For the first time, dozens of people see him. Not just cameras, not recordings. Actually see him. And they every light exploded. Darkness is swallowed the building. Screams erupted. People run. Somebody grabbed him. I thought it was Jake. It was not. A cold hand wrapped around my wrist, and a voice whispered into my ear. You were always supposed to be the last one. I pulled free and ran. I don't know how long. Minutes, maybe sound, seconds. Eventually the lights returned. The hallway always empty. Daniel was gone. Just Jake. But Jake had disappeared, gone without a trace. Police research Police searched for months. Nothing, nobody, no evidence, no explanation. The school permanently closed after that. The building was demolished. Authorities blamed every on mass height risk, hysteria, stress, fear, rumors. But I know what I see. And the last week, 10 years later, I received an email. No sender, no subject, only an attached video, security footage, a familiar hallway, a familiar school, time stamp 2:13 a.m. The camera show a teenage boy walking through the corridor. It took me several seconds to recognize him because he was not Daniel. He was not any student I know. The boy in the video was me, 17 years old, exactly as I looked that year. The video ended with my younger self staring into the camera, smiling, then pointed then pointing directly at the screen, and behind him, standing in the darkness, was Jake, still waiting.